Good morning and welcome back to Art by Bedell. If you've been following along, you know that I am making a Lapbook Junk Journal combination folder. And today this is our either the 5th or the 6th. I think I've lost track already. I think it's the 6th video. So if you need to see how we've gotten to this point, then go back and there's a playlist, and I'll try to put a link for it so that you can see what we have done so far. Today, I would like to show you how I'm going to construct that pocket for my journal to sit in. I have decided to go along and do it because I believe that my journal will be just fine inside that pocket. After I put it together yesterday in video 5, it looked really promising, so I'm going to go ahead with it. I hope I don't make a mistake, right? So anyhow, what you're going to do first, you're going to need some more cardstock, and you need 2 pieces that are 6 3/4 by 7 1/2. As you know, I combined my pieces all with a 1/2 inch overlay. So I'm going to take one piece and I'm going to measure the 1/2 inch, and this is how far I'm going to overlay my second piece onto my first piece. I add glue right along that line. I like to use tacky glue, and get that down, and we have what now looks like this. So that's our beginning right there. So let me get the camera turned around and I'll continue to show you the rest. So we have our first 2 pieces glued together, and now what we want to do is score on each side, and the first score line is going to be 5/8 of an inch. And then our next score line is going to be 2 1/2 inches past that first one, which makes it 3 1/8. And then flip that over and do it again to the other side. 5/8 and 3 1/8. And that will leave in the center a section that is 6 3/4. And it gives us, this will be, this 2 1/2 inch is our spine that we built for our book. So we know that our book will fit in there. Now from the bottom, from the top, we're going to score down 4 inches. I have to flip this over because my board isn't long enough. Okay, we're going to go 3 1/2. And then from there, we're going to go another 2 1/2, which is going to make the total at 6. I don't know if I said that loud enough. So we have a 3 1/2 inch pocket here. We have our 2 1/2 inch spine for our journal to sit in, for how wide our journal is going to be. And then a 2 1/2 down here also for our journal to sit on. So at this point, we want to cut away. And I think I'll draw a line so you can see this better. Let's move this scoreboard. We are going to cut away this section down here. I want to make sure I tell you this right. So let me just lay this on here. Yes. What I'm going to do, we are on the bottom part. You'll have your 5/8 inch score line, and then you'll have the 3 1/8. On the 3 1/8, you're going to cut this away. But you don't want to go all the way up to the 3.5-inch score line. You want to leave a little bit of a flap. So we'll cut away this much. So we're cutting away this corner right here on both sides. I guess that's why I had that scored at 4 inches and then 3.5. So cut that away. All right, so if we take our score lines now and we fold them, crease them really well. Let me get my bone folder here. And this is the 5/8-inch one. And then we've got the 3-inch one. And then we have the 2.5-inch one on the bottom. What we're going to get, all right, you also need to, okay, go up to the 3.5 here, but don't cut it out. Just go up, cut that up. Okay, we have all of our folds, and we're going to fold our sides in. And you'll see where that comes up. You need to cut across there also, so that they fold down, and it makes a really nice little box that our journal is going to sit in, just like that. So, there's your box. Now, the next thing I'd like to show you, I'm not going to put this, I'll show you how I attach this yet, because I want to take this and I want to do a little stitching on the outside, and I want to ink up all the edges. So it's not ready to be glued into my book, into my front base. I took the base and I did stitch all of my 1/2-inch pieces where I told you I was going to, where we glued everything together. Then I went crazy and I stitched each panel separately. So there is stitching around each panel. All of these pieces are all stitched. Everything has been stitched. I really like the looks of that. Just having the stitching lines come down where I glued it together looked kind of silly. So I needed to join them all together by doing each panel. So that's that. And then I went around the whole thing with my Distress Oxide Brushed Corduroy ink. Now, our book will have the pocket sitting that we just made, sitting right here on this panel. And we will glue that in after I get it sewn together, so it sits right here. Just like that. And then our journal can slide down in just like that. Yes, that's what I wanted. And then this will come up and fold over, and this will come up and fold over here. Okay, it's starting to really come together. I'm getting excited. I think this is going to be pretty nice. Okay, so the next time we get together, I'll show you how I put my pocket inside my base. Now, if you wonder how I get organized to actually start working on my pages, I gather supplies. let me flip my camera around again. To get prepared to work in my journal right here, I gather a bunch of supplies. I have gathered, like, I want some envelopes. So I'm not sure whether I want the big one or the little one, but I want one of these envelopes so I can make a window and put it in my journal. So I've gathered 2 of those, and then I'll decide later whether I want to do a big window or a long skinny window. I've also brought over my paper ruffle that I made that's pink. I want to put some of that in my book. I have collected papers that I can use for collage. Papers that are in the book, some of them. Actually, all of these are in the book. So they will, in the journal, they will work real well. I have also collected some printables, some calico collage printables, some freebies. Let's see, where are they? Some freebies. These are the ones that we used the other day to take off the excess stain, and they got both sides, so that is wonderful. And then weathered textures. They had some real pretty designs that are printables, and I like them because they have a nice pink on them, and there's some green, and I'm going to use those. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those for my pages, actually for the big parts of my pages to cover them, or whether I'm just going to use them for collage. Probably it'll be a little bit of both. So I've collected papers, and I have a stack right here to my left beside me. I have my stack of pieces of cardstock that are left over from making the base strip of our lap book. So I have those beside me. I really do want to put these, and I've showed you these already. I want to put some of these napkins as a collage element on some of our pages. Now, I have also collected some things I've kind of been hoarding because they're kind of special, and I wanted them, selfish me, for myself. But this is, and the pages for this monthly time book are actually in some of the journals that I have made. And I think I still have some of them somewhere too that I'll probably incorporate. But I want to make a mini book out of this and put it in my journal. So I've brought that along. I have a passport folder from somebody, I don't even know who. And I also want to make a mini book out of this and stick it in my journal. I've been using these in my journals, pages from this book in my journal. And it's a kindergarten materials and school and supplies list. It's just a bunch of advertisements for supplies for kindergarten. How cute is that? So I've been using some of those pages, and I want some of those in this journal also. I have my book paper. I have my dictionary paper. We're going to use those. I have, let's see, what else do I have over here? One of the accents, I have chosen 3 colors for this journal, and I'm going to do like a dusty blue, and then the pink that matches the beet staining that we did, and then I want a gold. So I have selected some gold papers from my stash, and these will be used in really small amounts, just as a accent on my pages. So I have some really nice gold paper. And then I do want to put either 1 or 2 of these itty bitty file folders in my book. So I have those here. I have my ephemera book that I had made, and that'll be here on the desk, so I can just pick out something from that if I choose. I have a stash of, this is something that I had pre-made, and I made several of them, and I thought maybe this would go in the journal, so I grabbed that. This is a pattern for an envelope. I want to make one of these out of the paper that matches this book. I have made a masterboard, and these are some of the cards that I had cut from the masterboard, and I thought if I add a little pink to these and some blue, they would match quite nicely also. And from the master board, I also did a bunch of snippets too, and I picked out several of these that would match our book also. So I have some lace, I have some fabric. That's a good start. I think that with this stash here beside me, I should be motivated and inspired to get some pages done. My first page that I'm going to do in my book is going to be, I have chosen, where is it? I have chosen this page right here, which is the back flap of an envelope right here. To that back flap, I want to attach a piece of watercolor paper. But before I add this watercolor paper, I want to draw a half moon of a sunflower. I'm going to try to put into this journal things that it's a journal and a whole thing that's going to be about who I am. And sunflower is part of who I am, as in that was the name of my scrapbook store that I used to own. It was called the Sunflower House. So who I am, part of me was the Sunflower House. And so I'm going to do a sunflower and put it on that flap. So I'll draw that and then probably watercolor it and then attach it. So I'll show you that hopefully next time we get together. So thanks for being here, and I hope you're enjoying this series. And we shall see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye now.